Hey there everyone, this is Steven, and today I am playing a little bit of Arkham Knight, nothing serious, just starting off a new game. Um, but it's special today because this weekend Batman vs Superman was, and I watched it this morning, and I guess kind of wanted to talk about it, reflect a little bit. Um, if you don't know, I
This
love
is how it happened.
Batman.
This
He's my hero.
Is how the Batman died.
He is a hero, but he's my personal hero. He's kind of what I look to. I just love Batman. Batman to me is what Jesus Christ is to many. So
9 months ago, Joker was creepy.
I was excited for the movie. I didn't have super high hopes just because I don't know. While I like Zack Snyder's films, I don't feel that they're that great.
For the inevitable power struggle. But it didn't come.
I just
Crime actually
I don't know. I personally, his best movie was his first one. My favorite movie of his is Sucker Punch. I really liked Watchmen, but it's not insanely entertaining. I don't know. He just has a certain style that I think lends itself to mediocrity. So I just I really did not have super high hopes for the movie, but you know, it deals with the bat, so I was excited to see it. And I should preface this by saying that a lot of my Batman,
Thanks.
well, or that I'm mostly familiar with Batman.
Thanks, honey.
Not super familiar with Superman.
So, what'll it be?
Not at all familiar with Wonder Woman. Not at all familiar with
Chicken
Lex
salad
Luthor.
with no dressing.
Very,
you know what?
very limited
Make it
information on all those cats.
With a side of bacon.
And I will also start off by saying
Whatever
I
you
am
say,
going to
Officer.
be talking about the finer details of the movie,
and
so
if you want
I
some more
probably
coffee,
will be
just shout.
dealing with spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, then you should probably leave unless you just don't care. And that's fine. You can stick around. So the main, I'll talk about the things that I was less familiar with, and then I'll get into Batman because I just think I can talk more about Batman.
Wait here. I'll have a word.
So, for instance, Superman. I really liked Superman in the movie. I thought he had a lot of really great moments, and just kind of the more important story arcs. But
Excuse me, sir. There's no smoking in here.
I mean, I thought he had like a lot of really cool points, and it was cool to see him on screen. And I especially liked the courtroom scene with him. I thought was really great. A lot of the kind of sizzle features with him, you know, saving just random citizens and stuff. I really liked. Yeah, I thought they portrayed Superman mostly well in the movie. I didn't really see any gargantuan issues aside from maybe he gets sprayed with kryptonite at one point, and I'm all out, and recovers mighty quick even though there's no sunlight around. My girlfriend had a real fucking problem with that. I don't know. I was like, whatever. So I thought they handled Superman well. But again, I'm not super familiar with Superman, so I can't tell you really if they did him true justice or not. As far as, say, Lex Luthor goes, I also just really not familiar, but I did enjoy Jesse Eisenberg's performance. I thought he did a good job. He had great dialogue. He had all sorts of kind of weird. He almost didn't speak like he lived in the real world, but he had all sorts of like weird references. He kind of quoted a lot, gave trivia a lot, but it was relevant. I liked that portrayal. He takes a weird turn towards the end. They just suddenly shave his head for basically no reason. I think the point they're trying to get across is that you can't have hair in prison, so they just shave his head. But that's not the point. I thought Jesse Eisenberg did a good job, and I also liked that he was kind of the manipulator. He sort of channeled the Joker in that sense, where he pits Batman and Superman against each other. And also, yeah, we're using the Batman vs Superman skin today, just to commemorate the film. And I like the skin, I like the suit, but that's what we're using today. And it has been a moment since I played Batman, so if I'm awful, forgive me. We're here mostly just to talk about the movie.
You see the look on that cop's face?
For the most part, I like Lex Luthor, even if he really, in a story sense, did not make sense. I suppose if I were to really dig, they didn't really explain this in the movie, but I think he's supposed to be kind of the reality of conspiracy theories. So, like, say for instance, if you have people who think that the government,
I need the location of Unit 247.
Already working on it.
the American government is responsible for something like 9/11.
He's holding up.
Somehow,
Lex
he always
Luthor
does.
is kind of the equivalent to that, in the sense that he
Okay,
is trying to prove
I'm
a point.
sending
He's
to
trying
this worker's
to
location. Be careful.
get the government to
Not
allow the
looking good out
weaponization
there.
of kryptonite, and he's doing so by staging these disasters that metahumans are responsible for. Okay, great. So he pits Batman and Superman against each other. Sure, that's the biggest stretch. He really has nothing to gain unless he's just looking. I mean, his company is already successful. I don't know. They don't really explain what Luthor's motives are at all. He just kind of does these things, and it's not in the way like the Joker just does these things. It's just he just does. Like you seem like he should have a motive, and he's not like batshit or anything, but just kind of. He doesn't really have much of a point in the film, but it's okay. I thought his portrayal was fine, even if his plot line was meh.
You're safe.
Thanks,
Wonder Woman.
I thought
I thought towards the end they did a good job with Wonder Woman. Just in terms of her being on screen, her in action. I did not really care for
I'll
her
send someone to pick you
as
up.
Diana Prince.
What are you doing?
Evening the odds.
I just did not know why she was there. I was getting a pretty strong Catwoman vibe. Yeah, it was a pretty weak connection. So basically, her introduction is that she's a pretty girl in a red dress, great, and Bruce Wayne is trying to hack some of Lex Luthor's information, and
Oracle,
Diana
I need
Prince
to track that military
steals
vehicle.
A squad
Bruce's
car is
hacking
picked up the
device.
pursuit. I'm relaying its location now.
Okay, what? Sure, that's a stretch. But whatever. It's fine. It's a big dumb plot point in the movie.
This is Commissioner Gordon. I'm calling off the
I'll get
pursuit.
over it.
It's
But
too
again,
dangerous.
maybe
Sir, we're right here. We
maybe
can take
Diana
these bastards.
Prince is like a super sleuth. I don't know.
They just fired an RPG at us.
But
Who the hell are these
that's
guys?
just my inexperience with the Wonder Woman character. I really don't know. So her as like just a pedestrian didn't really do it for me.
Got to stop them.
Don't worry, Jim. He's mine.
But when she's actually on screen, she's in the suit, she's using a sword and shield. Pretty dope, actually. Excuse me.
That takes care of the vehicle. We need to interrogate the driver and find out what he knows.
And then I think these are all like the main characters, I'm pretty sure. We got Luthor, Superman, Wonder Woman, Lois Lane. Again, I'm really unfamiliar with Lois Lane. She does some weird things in the movie. Like, I think at the end when she
Where's
takes
Scarecrow?
the kryptonite staff and throws it in a pool of water, and then has to go fetch it a little bit later. I was like, that's weird. I was speaking with my girlfriend, and I think the reason is she maybe was trying to hide it.
Working out of a penthouse in Chinatown. I swear that's all I
No
know.
real clear reason given as to why, but
you're
okay, yeah,
lying,
it seems like she's
I'll
trying to
bring
hide
the
it.
other one.
The other one.
and it kind of ends up backfiring on her. So yeah, I mean, whatever. It was fine. It was fine. She is used in the movie kind of as Superman's reason for doing pretty much anything. He does care about humans and the people on planet Earth, but he cares more about Lois.
You're not kidding.
Yeah, I thought, honestly, I thought, you know, everybody did a fine job.
What are you going to do?
Scarecrow's got a safe
The
house
real
nearby.
weakness between all of those characters is just kind of a hokey script. It ties together, you know, things with real loose threads. Not much motivation going on, but so finally I will actually get into the important thing, which is Batman. I thought Ben Affleck did fine. I thought he would do fine. I think personally, this is just a personal preference, I think the costume looks weird on him. I think that's partly just the way the cowl is shaped. I think it's also partly that it's Zack Snyder's choices that he made. By that I mean he shoots the costume in the daytime. That's weird. I mean, it's a motherfucker, you know, basically in a Halloween costume. It looks weird.
I've seen trees with faster reflexes.
He just makes some weird, you know, Zack Snyder choices. But I mean, I thought you know, Ben Affleck did fine. He's not much to blame for any hokiness with the Batman character. I thought, you know, his Bruce Wayne is good.
Well,
The problems that I had with Batman are mostly due to the script and less with the actor. So Batman kills people in the movie. Not a fan. Not a fan. Batman doesn't kill. That's a violation of basically rule fucking number 1 is that Batman doesn't kill, and he just flat out blows motherfuckers up. Just shoots them, drops cars on them, runs through them with the Batmobile, blows them up. I mean, they're quote unquote bad guys, but he just doesn't do it. All right, he just doesn't do it. We see the Batmobile in action. We see the Batwing in action. And a lot of explosions come out of it.
Nothing like a little natural immunity.
It's just not in line with the Batman character, especially when his main motivation in the movie to take down Superman is the fact that there was all of this collateral damage through Superman's fight with Zod, and his building was destroyed, and some of his workers were injured, and
Why did Scarecrow?
her mother,
Hello.
which is something that he kind of resonates within it.
And
So
what if I don't want
to have him turn around
Then I
after
burn
being
every
spurred on
plant in
by all
Gotham.
of this destruction around him and cause
It
even
started
more
with me.
destruction, he just
What
like barrels
meeting?
through buildings.
Everyone was
He
there.
just flat out just
Penguin,
blows shit up. He just
Two-Face,
wrecks
Even
the
poor
town
Harley.
basically.
Scarecrow said he had a plan.
It's
That
weird.
together we could
But
take
again,
you
that's a
out,
Zack Snyder
and
thing. This shit,
Gotham would
there's
be
got to be
ours.
explosions. It's
Over
got to
my
look
dead
cool.
body.
I
Story
believe that was the
comes
idea.
second, maybe third.
I told him that I wasn't interested in
So,
his pathetic
main
cute
complaint
games.
with Batman,
And when I
he
came to, I was
kills
locked
people.
up in that room.
One of the main complaints.
It's such a shame.
One of
that
my
his
second
vile toxin has no
issues is,
effect
yeah,
on
they
me.
do actually they don't have him
Nature always wins.
as Batman that much. He's mostly like in the car
Will
or
he ever learn?
in the jet or in the robot suit even, so he's kind of just clunking around. You only get to see him like
You're
kind of
coming
be
with me.
Batman in
You only had to
one
ask.
scene in the movie, I felt, and he fucking ends up killing people like with grenades and shit. He's cool. Again, I don't believe that's Affleck's fault unless he had really any control over the story and could have said, hey man, this isn't quite cool, Batman doesn't kill people, maybe we should tone it down or something. I doubt he would have you know, won anybody over with that. So I firmly think that it's the script and Snyder's decisions to not stay true to the Batman character that things like this happen. And also, it's a good hour or so into the movie before you see Batman at all. At all. And he just kind of comes across as a, you know, a tough-talking son of a bitch, basically, and not necessarily like in a badass way. Like, it comes off as just kind of hokey. Like, for instance, at the very end when Luthor's in the cell and he just comes out of nowhere and is just like, I'm gonna fucking find you wherever you are. It's like, okay, well, he's in prison, first off, so you already know where he's at. Like, what's the point of this? Like, what are you doing? It just seemed like there's pointless interactions between him and some others. Yeah, it's just and the fact that when he's fighting Superman, the thing that calls him off is that he finds out that he and Superman, their moms, have the same name. It's I just wish seems like a really weak plot point to me. I mean, I think he did the best he could with it. He did the best that he could with it, I'm sure. It's such a lame thing. And then suddenly they're BFFs. Literally 5 minutes later, he says to Superman's mom, I'm friends with your son.
It's time to go to war.
And then at the end of the movie, mourns Superman's death. You know, it's weird. It's weird is all I'm gonna say. Alright. It's just threadbare excuses or reasonings to get these fuckers to fight. And if that's all you care about, then great. I really would have liked a little more. Just in terms of a solid story. You know, I'm an adult, and that's kind of more of what I want, more so than action. And that's kind of why I said that I didn't really have super high hopes for the movie, just because Scott Snyder's tits, Zack Snyder was directing it, and that seems to be how his movies go, is style over substance, for sure. And as I said, the parts with Superman in them I thought went really well. He doesn't know how to shoot Batman. His Batman looks hokey. His Batman appears in the daytime. His Batman appears with weird trench coats on. His Batman appears from really odd angles. Yeah. I thought he made some interesting choices with Batman on here, and honestly, a lot of them it's solely down to the direction, not really much from Ben Affleck. It's not. I didn't really have much of a problem with his portrayal. I thought he did fine, even though he wasn't really in the movie that much. I can say that after Batman vs Superman, I am excited for the solo Batman movie, because I'm hoping that it gets toned down and he's not fighting a giant fucking alien. Because when Doomsday shows up, he's just like, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm gonna lead him back to, you know, near the city where he can kill everybody, and I don't really have much of a plan except I'm gonna go find his staff. Yeah, sure. And he just hangs out with a gun and just shoots another kryptonite bullet at him. Like, again, it was just hokey. It's just hokey. It just seemed kind of out of place. So I am looking forward to a solo Batman movie. with Affleck, just because I'm hoping that it gets toned down and more story driven. The rumor is that Ben Affleck himself is going to be directing it, and he's a fine director. So I'm hoping that, and you know, he's loved the Batman character for a long time. So I'm hoping that he does it justice. Pretty much as far as I'm concerned with film, The Dark Knight is the one to beat if we're talking live action. Yeah, so as I said, I didn't hate Batman vs Superman. I know it sounds like I'm just ragging on it, but it's just because the Batman character means a lot to me. So I was just really hoping that they would stick true to a few basic points, and they could. One of them also is that Bruce Wayne is not much of a detective in this movie. He's just the only thing I really recall is he like I said, he tries to hack Lex Luthor's mainframe, or whatever the word I'm looking for is. He's got a little gadget that he uses. He doesn't really use his brain much in ways that you haven't seen in other media. One thing that I did like, put a big goofy smile on my face, is during the Batman-Superman fight, when there are all these references to Dark Knight Returns. We got the robot bat suit. He uses a sound blast to incapacitate Superman.
Any progress with the fear toxin analysis?
Superman catches a kryptonite arrow, or in this case, it's like a bullet, kryptonite bullet, and it blows up in his face. And then, oh yeah, I've got a dog in the room. Sorry. Oh shit, there was another one. Well then, when Superman gets nuked and he turns into the zombie, yeah, so there was things like that I thought were really cool reference turns. I liked that a lot. So yeah, it wasn't all bad, but just I was very picky about Batman's portrayal in the film. And again, it's just because the story was weird. It wasn't because of Affleck or anything. He did fine, but just the story was weird. It was threadbare, and I just thought it didn't really make a lot of sense. So
damn bureaucrats.
So when you have, you know, this character that's in there, and the movie's not insanely interesting
Give us a rundown
to begin with, and then
all right, let's see.
It's Batman almost in name only, because they, you know, he's not much of a detective. He's mostly just a hulking pile of meat that's only good for a few thrown punches.
Then there's this. It's a strange one. Body turned up.
And they show him weirdly in the daytime, and
real nasty.
He seems to have no
also, we've had several sightings
real
of creeping around the train yard. Knowing that guy, he's got to be up to no good.
real care for human life and the people around him. He's not a detector really. So there were just a few things that I thought were hokey pretty much about the script.
Good to hear.
Overall, even with that said, I really am. I'm looking forward to when they start to do the solo Batman movie. I heard a rumor months and months ago that it was going to be based on the Red Hood storyline, which so is this game. But I'm thinking that might be a major rumor, because it seems that that was months and months ago, and it's only now that they're starting to really, that they've even confirmed, like, yeah, there's going to be a movie. So I don't know that that can be trusted. I would be super down if that was a fact. If they did the Red Hood storyline, that would be super awesome. But depending on how goes, which I'm also excited for, but depending on how Suicide Squad goes, maybe the Joker will be in it, maybe he won't. Yeah, I don't know. What am I doing right now? Oh, I'm rescuing that firefighter. That's right. Okay.
And to Batman, I have already won.
But the movie was okay. In a weird way, I'm interested to see the home release, because from what I understand, the original cut was about 3 hours long and was rated R too. So yeah, it would be. I don't know if that's gonna fix anything. See, I thought the movie was overlong to begin with, despite having no fucking plot. It dragged on for the first hour or so.
What happened?
And then after that,
our truck was attacked.
it just kind of
dragged us out one by one. We were separated, taken away.
I wasn't super bored. I was mostly just like, oh man,
I'll save
what are
your
they
crew.
doing?
Wait here. I'll get a
But
DCPD officer to pick you up.
overall, I mean, I think it's worth watching, and I think that, you know, you should form your own opinions about it. But it's by no stretch of the imagination a perfect movie, and I just hope that Zack Snyder isn't really given reign over these movies anymore, because they can be great.
Someone
And he just does not have the subtle
I'm going
hand
to stop them, and I need to investigate the crime scene
to
for
do
clues.
that. It's he just has a certain style, and I think he really did Watchmen justice as far as I'm concerned. But again, I haven't even read the entire comic, but I mean, he mostly did a shot for shot film version of that, and I don't know, I just think, like, as far as Batman goes, he just does not understand the character. It's just not something that's special to him. It's my opinion. I'm sure there are plenty of people who actually really loved the movie. I don't want to say disappointed in it, because I didn't expect too much, but I wasn't super thrilled with it. I just love, you know, Batman so much. So he really means a lot to me. So basically, to sum up, it wasn't perfect. I liked a lot of things in the movie that were not Batman related. Superman I thought was great. Lex Luthor I personally thought was great. Ooh, what am I doing? Wonder Woman was fun. Batman was cool at times, but I just don't think they got the character right for him. Again, not Affleck's fault, script's fault, director's fault.
Blood tests reveal the cause of death was an overdose of painkillers.
Even with that being said, I am excited to see a solo Batman film, just because I hope they can get the tone down, and maybe he won't be fighting giant aliens, and it will be more just focused on Batman being Batman,
to use the deep tissue scanner to analyze
Bruce
the body
Wayne
for distinguishing features
things like that.
and determine the victim's
I hope that they
identity.
get. I did not really get the sense of him struggling between being Batman and Bruce Wayne at all, which I think is one of the most important pieces of the Batman character, is that, you know, he is Batman, but he has to pretend to be Bruce Wayne, basically. And that was not touched on at all, and I'm hoping they can get into some more things like that. That'd be really interesting to me. But thanks for listening to me ramble on. I mean, if you think I'm a fucking psychopath, go ahead and tell me. But yeah, let me know what you thought, or if you kind of thought the same, or what else you liked, or what else you didn't like about the movie. But I don't believe I'm going to be back to talk about it, or any of the other movies or anything like that. Go watch The Dark Knight Returns, the animated version. It's really, really great. It's really great, and they do a really good job adapting the comic book. So read the comic book actually if you can,
A
because
wedding
it's
ring in the
phenomenal.
lower
So
intestine. The inscription reads Ophelia.
I guess I'm just gonna finish scanning this body up here. And what am I doing? But thank you for listening to me ramble on about how much I love the Bat.
The victim had a hip replacement. Boy, scar tissue hasn't fully healed, so it must have been recent.
Alfred, the victim's name is Anthony Lund. Hospital records show he suffered with alcoholism, most probably brought on by the breakdown of his marriage.
Oh,
the name on the ring, Ophelia,
just in time.
his ex-wife.
Dog's here. Okay, guys.
Seen in
We'll catch you
Albuquerque,
later.
Mexico.
Peace out.
What's unusual is that they didn't go missing.